everyone, welcome back to Quest for Literature. Today we are going to see the summary of The School for Scandal by Sheridan. This video is going to be one of the lengthiest video. Please do watch the video till the end to get to know about the entire story. The play School for Scandal was written in 1777 and was first performed in 1777 May 8, but it was published in 1780. And this play is considered as one of the greatest comedy of manners. The play School for Scandal was written by the Irish playwright Richard Brinsley Sheridan. The play became successful almost immediately and is a perfect example of Restoration literature. The play presents comic situations and abundance in sexual reference. Instead of portraying a pure society like in a Puritan literature, the play presents corrupt people who likes to gossip and who only look out for themselves. The title of the play is suggestive, as it foreshadows the general direction that the plot will take as well as its major theme. The whole play is a satirical portrait of the British society of the 18th century. Some of the characters' names point to its major flaw, thereby giving us a directive description of them. The play has been adapted to movie numerous times. It was first produced as a British silent film in 1923. Now, let's see the characters in the play School for Scandal, and it has lots and lots of character. But here I am pointing only very few important characters, but when I say you the summary of the story, you will be introduced to all the characters. Okay, first the character is Joseph Surface. Joseph Surface is Charles' brother. He is a cunning and ambitious man. Next one is Charles Surface. Charles is one of Sir Oliver's nephew, madly in love with Maria. Then Sir Oliver Surface. Sir Oliver is Charles and Joseph's rich uncle who has been in East Indies for a long time. Next one, Sir Peter Teazle. Sir Peter is an old gentleman, very rich, who marries a young girl. Next one, Lady Teazle. She is Sir Peter Teazle's young wife, described as a very beautiful but vain with a passion for having fashionable clothes. Next one, Maria. Maria is a young girl, one of the only characters who doesn't like to gossip. Next one, Lady Sneerwell. Lady Sneerwell is a widow, a wealthy woman who likes Charles and who is willing to do anything to break up Charles and Maria. Then Mrs. Cantor, she is one of Lady Sneerwell's friend who also likes to spread rumors. Next one is Snake. She is Lady Sneerwell's servant who helps her by spreading her rumors. Then Moses. She is one of Charles' moneylender who helps Sir Oliver get in touch with his nephew. This particular play, School for Scandal, has 5 acts. And first act you have 2 scenes, and in all the other 4 acts it has 3 scenes each. And it starts with 2 prologues and ends with an epilogue also. Now, let's get into the story. The play starts with 2 prologues that set up the themes of scandal, rumors, and public appearance. Act 1 begins by presenting Lady Sneerwell, a wealthy widow, and her servant Snake, gossiping as they usually do. Lady Sneerwell gossips because in her past someone destroyed her reputation. Lady Sneerwell reveals to Snake why she is so involved in matters concerning Sir Peter Teazle, his ward Maria, and the young brothers Charles and Joseph Surface. Joseph loves Maria, but Maria loves Charles, whom Lady Sneerwell also loves. Lady Sneerwell and Joseph have been plotting to make Maria and Charles drift apart by putting out a rumor that Charles and Sir Peter Teazle's wife, that is Lady Teazle, are having an affair. Lady Sneerwell will be sending Snake to execute this plot. After Lady Sneerwell finishes explaining, Joseph enters. Snake leaves, and Joseph then tells Lady Sneerwell that he suspects Snake of not being entirely faithful to them and their secret plan because Snake has been in conversation with Rowley, who was his father's steward. Maria now enters, having tried to escape Sir Benjamin Backbite, another man weighing for her love, his uncle Crabtree. She complains that she did not want to stay with Backbite and his uncle because they are talking badly about others. Maria is followed by Mrs. Cantor and then by Sir Benjamin Backbite and his uncle Crabtree, who start gossiping that the Surface Brothers' rich uncle will come soon to England from the East Indies. And they start gossiping about Charles' financial situation, so Maria chooses to leave. Mrs. Cantor follow her to try to help, and then Crabtree and Benjamin follow as well. Scene 2 begins with a soliloquy by Sir Peter about his wife's spending habit. Rowley arrives and the two talk about Maria, discussing how she rejected Joseph and seems to like Charles. Rowley defends Charles and then tells Sir Peter that Sir Oliver arrives from East Indies. Sir Peter fears that Sir Oliver will make fun of him for getting married, but he is excited to see a friend whom he last saw 16 years ago. Act 2 opens with Sir Peter and his wife arguing about how much money she spends. They repeatedly brings up that she grew up in the country, not used to the lavish living of London. Now, however, she wants money for all kinds of things such as flowers in the winter. Then the two moves on arguing about the company people who talk rudely about others and spread rumors. Lady Teasel sets off for Lady Sneerwell's house and Sir Peter agrees to join later. After his wife leaves, Sir Peter admits in the soliloquy that his wife is especially beautiful when she is angry. Lady Sneerwell's place, a group of people are again pressurizing Sir Benjamin, not Sir, Benjamin Backbite to share his writing. He shares a simple poem that he wrote while on horseback. Lady Teasel and Maria arrives at Lady Sneerwell's, and Lady Teasel tells Lady Sneerwell that her husband will come later. Everyone begins to gossip rudely about people absent from the gathering. They gossip especially about makeup, but Maria refuses to join in. So Peter arrives and he also dislikes the gossip that is happening, but it continues. The conversation turns to wit and good nature in general. Meanwhile, Joseph and Maria leave the stage. Joseph starts flirting with Maria, but she refuses him once again, even as he kneels in front of her. Lady Teasel re-enters and finds Joseph kneeling in front of Maria. He thinks quickly and acts as if he had been begging Maria not to tell Sir Peter about the relationship she suspects between Joseph and Lady Teasel. Lady Teasel thinks that it would be strange for him to ask this while kneeling, but eventually he seems to believe him. Joseph, Maria, and Lady Teasel plan to join with the full group again, but they must not re enter the party together since it would arouse some suspicion. Lady Teasel exit first, and Joseph gives a soliloquy about how he once wanted to spend more time with Lady Teasel so that she could support his advances on Maria. Now, however, he has become too seriously involved with her. Then, scene 3 opens with Sir Oliver talking to Rowley about Sir Peter's marriage as he waits for his friend to come back home. Sir Oliver meets with Sir Peter and they talk about Joseph and Charles while Sir Peter praises Joseph. Sir Oliver thinks that Joseph may be a hypocrite. Thus, Sir Oliver is not so quick to believe everything Sir Peter says. Then Act 3, Scene 1 opens again on Sir Oliver, Sir Peter, and Rowley. Rowley tells them a man called Mr. Stanley, who is a relative of Joseph and Charles through his mother, Sir Stanley has fallen on hard times financially, and Charles has tried to help him, whereas Joseph has only made promises but not actually given any help. Rowley also announces that a friendly Jew named Mr. Moses, who has been consulting Charles with his financial situation recently, is being here to meet with him. Rowley says that Mr. has an incentive to work with him because Charles owns his money. And he also tells them that he has information from Snake regarding the rumors Peter has heard about Charles and Lady Teazle. Mr. Moses enters and meets Sir Oliver. Mr. Moses tells Sir Oliver about Charles' incredible spending habits and how he is deeply in debt. He says that evening he is bringing a man from the city to advance Charles' money. Sir Oliver clarifies that Charles has never met this man, that is Mr. Premium, before, and Sir Peter suggests that Sir Oliver might go to Charles in disguise as Premium to find out what Charles is really like. Sir Oliver likes this idea and he has the thought that he might also goes to Joseph disguised as Mr. Stanley. He tells Sir Peter to go and get Snake so that they can hear what he knows about the rumors regarding Lady Teazle and Charles. In the meantime, he sees Maria approaching and he wants to talk to her. Rowley exits and Maria enters. Maria and Sir Peter talks about how he wants her to love Joseph despite her love for Charles. He scolded her for never listening to him and for loving Charles, perhaps because of his flaws. Maria exits angrily. Sir Peter laments how much he fights with his wife and his ward. Lady Teazle approaches and the couple tries to be good natured with one another. They keep up the act for a short while, then they fall back into fighting, even arguing about which one of them usually starts their fight. They decided that it might be better for them to separate. Then, scene 2 opens with Sir Oliver, Mr. Moses, and one of Charles' servant at Charles' house. The servant wants to do business with Mr. Moses himself, which Sir Oliver thinks is strange. That is, the servant of Charles is Trip. Okay, Trip tells them a bit about how lavish Charles has been living, and Trip leads them to where Charles and his friend are relaxing. Scene 3 shows Charles and his friends drinking and talking about some gentleman's unwillingness to drink alcohol recently. They also talks about love, and Charles brings up Maria. They sing a song about loving all kind of women. Trip enters and tells Charles about his guest arrival. Trip goes off and then re-enters with Sir Oliver disguised as Mr. Premium and Mr. Moses. Charles' friends soon leave out of boredom, going into the next room to play dice. Tells to Premium that his uncle, Mr. Oliver, who is so rich, is about to leave all the things to Charles. Sir Oliver, who is disguised as Mr. Premium, asks about various other ways Charles might make money by selling things from house, but finds that Charles has already sold them. Charles offers to sell the collection of paintings of his family members. Sir Oliver is shocked by this proposal, but he purchases it, asking to see the portrait. A friend, careless, is swept up in the scene to play auctioneer in the room where portraits are kept. They all leave the stage to go look at the portrait, with Sir Oliver vowing to himself that he will never forgive Charles for this. Then, Act 4, it begins like Charles selling every paintings of his ancestors except for a portrait of Sir Oliver when Mr. Premium, who is disguised, the Oliver, who is disguised as Premium, offers to pay a large sum of money for it. Charles still refused to sell it. After the deal is done, Charles sends a sum of money for the relief of Mr. Stanley despite Rowley's objection. Sir Oliver thinks about Charles' behavior, then Rowley comes with the money Charles sent for Mr. Stanley. After this, Sir Oliver decided to go and visit Joseph as Mr. Stanley to see how he will behave. Meanwhile, Lady Teazle is paying a visit to Joseph. A servant announces that Sir Peter has also come to call on Joseph, and Lady Teazle hides behind a screen. Sir Peter tells Joseph about the rumored relationship between his wife and Charles, also urges Joseph to marry Maria. Joseph's displeasure, since he had just been trying to convince Lady Teazle to cheat on her husband with him. Charles is announced, and Sir Peter decided to hide as well behind the screen. Sir Peter sees a woman behind the screen, but Joseph convinces him that it is just some random woman, a French millionaire. Sir Peter hides in the closet instead. Charles enters, and he and Joseph starts talking about Lady Teazle and how Charles thinks Joseph and her are in relationship. Joseph tries to get him off the subject, but Charles do not understand. So Joseph tells him quickly that Sir Peter is hiding in the room. Charles immediately lets Sir Peter come out, and Sir Peter apologizes for believing that there is something between his wife and him. Lady Sneerwell is announced, and Joseph leaves to stop her from entering the room, thinking it will be a good joke for revealing a woman hiding in the room to Joseph's own brother. Sir Peter pulls down the screen to find that his wife is behind. She confesses that she came to Joseph with an intention of having an affair with him, but that after she found that Sir Peter wanted to let her have a large sum of money, she decided against it. Lady Teazle leaves, and Joseph tried to explain to Sir Peter why she is in the room. Sir Peter refuses to listen to him, and they leave stage together arguing. Act 5, the last act. It begins with Sir Oliver along with Rowley going to meet Joseph, who is not pleased with the timing of the visit. Sir Oliver is disguised as Mr. Stanley, Joseph's poor relation. Joseph refuses to help Stanley financially, claiming that he has no money, even though Sir Oliver sent him a large sum of money from India. Sir Oliver is angry with this and declared, "Charles, you are my heir," and he exits. After Mr. Stanley leaves, Rowley returns and tells Joseph that his uncle has arrived in town, and Joseph asks Rowley to stop Mr. Stanley, but Rowley says that he thinks it won't be possible. Joseph is still upset that all his business is happening at such time, but he is excited to see his uncle. Scene 2, takes place at Sir Peter's house. Lady Sneerwell, Mrs. Cantor, Sir Benjamin, and eventually Crabtree talks about the rumor surrounding Lady Teazle. The rumor, they report to one another that Charles and Sir Peter suppose they have a dwelling either with sword or gun. Lady Sneerwell hides her involvement in the issue somewhat and leaves the group discussing the rumor. Soon after Lady Sneerwell leaves, Sir Oliver arrives at the house. They believe him to be the doctor present to tend to Sir Peter's wound from the supposed duel. Sir Oliver tells that he is not a doctor, calling attention to the difference in the story, and he is being told the parties still not agreeing on whether the wound come from the sword or the bullet. Sir Peter then arrives and everyone makes a fuss about him not being wounded. After all, the group makes fun of him and he throws them out of his house, telling them he wants neither their joy nor their pity. Finally, only Sir Oliver remains and Rowley returns. Sir Oliver tells Sir Peter about his visit to his both the nephews, and Sir Oliver also says that he too heard story of Sir Peter. Lady Teazle, Joseph, and Charles and all laugh at his friend. They all laugh together. Sir Peter laments without such feeling how the gossip will continue to circulate through the papers. Sir Oliver leaves so that Sir Peter can reconcile with his wife. Rowley and Sir Peter discuss how badly Lady Teazle is feeling about what happened to Sir Peter. Peter suggests that he might leave to feel bad for a while instead of going to speak to her. Rowley chats him, and Sir Peter agrees to go and make up with her. Lady Sneerwell and Joseph meets meanwhile to discuss about Sir Peter will not reconcile with Charles and let him marry. Lady Sneerwell scolds him for ruining the plot. Joseph suggests that if Snake is still faithful for them, it may not be too late. They heard a knocking at the door. Joseph thinks that this will be his uncle coming to call, so Lady Sneerwell leaves. Instead, it is Sir Oliver at door. But due to Sir Oliver's disguise, Joseph thinks that it is Mr. Stanley. Sir Oliver keeps pretending to be Mr. Stanley, saying that he wants to meet with Sir Oliver as well in order to get some financial help. Joseph does not want this and tries to pull Stanley out of the door. Charles arrives and thinks that Sir Oliver is Mr. Premium. Both Charles and Joseph tries to get the man to leave in confusion. Sir Peter, Lady Teazle, Maria, and Rowley all comes in. Sir Oliver reveals to his nephew that he decided to leave his money to Charles. Maria arrives, but he refuses to marry Charles because he heard rumors about the relationship between him and Lady Sneerwell. Snake reveals the truth. Then Maria agrees to marry Charles. The play ends with an epilogue spoken by Lady Teazle to the audience. That's the end of today's session. Thank you all for listening. If you find the video is good, like it as well as share it with your friends. And do comment below your suggestions, what topic you need next or your doubts, everything below in the comment section. And if you are not yet subscribed to my channel, do subscribe, click on the bell icon and enable all option so that you will be notified whenever I upload a new video. Till the time we meet next, stay tuned to Quest for Literature, keep reading and know the world.